So great to see all of you tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about the business side of voiceover. This is our Thursday night spotlight training. If you're new to our family, we do this every Thursday night, except for next week. It's Thanksgiving, but we're here all the time to help you start and grow your voiceover business. And check it out. So tonight, this program is all about how to thrive behind the microphone in 2026 by understanding the business of voiceover. This can be very lucrative for you if you do it right. There is a business here. I built one. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we want to know about you right now. So if this is the first time in one of our spotlight trainings, would you please come into the chat and write first time? And Donna and I will welcome you. Hey, Nicholas, welcome. Yay. We should have like an applause sound effect, Donna,
Yes, we
or
should.
like, uh, confetti
Jay
and all of
Marie.
that. Hey there,
Jay
Jay
Marie's
Marie
first time.
and Dorothea. Nice to see you. MSMDS, welcome. First time for you. Great to see you. We also love that old friends keep coming
Yes,
back for more, don't we, Donna? That's
absolutely.
testimony to a solid community, which is what people tell us here. We do. We have a great community, and we're so happy
The
you're here.
best.
Carlos Joseph, welcome, Carlos.
Carlos, first time for this class. Carlos Joseph's been around.
Chef Pam, great to have
Hey,
you back. That's great. Because tonight the topic is the business of voiceover. It's all about how to grow. So you can do this without getting confused, stuck, or wrong. And maybe you're just starting out. You want to have a real profitable voiceover business, not just a hobby. A hobby's fine too, but tonight's about how to make money at this and have customers who buy from you again and again, understand the nitty back office stuff of growing a business so you can do it right. Stay organized, even if you have a creative mind, like a lot of us do. Present yourself like a true professional that your customers can trust. So, I did it. I'm a working voice talent with a 30-year career. And, I have not one, but two seven-figure customers. I'm not bragging, but it's the truth. I mean, I'm the voice of Citibank, and I have been for decades. Same thing with AT&T. I worked for them for decades as well. My background is radio, and I did that for 15 years. I was even on the Howard Stern show for a while before I left. I was his traffic reporter and a cast member in the 80s, oh so long ago. But then I started my own business. I started the Great Voice Company. And the great pleasure here is not just doing my own voiceover work, but helping you guys because it's lonely behind the microphone. And myself and all the members of our team, the thing that lights us up is seeing you succeed and helping you step by step by step, every step of the way. I've written a few books. One of them is Voiceover Secrets Exposed, which you probably have, or you wouldn't be here, as well as Speak to Influence, How to Unlock the Hidden Power of Your Voice. And I've been featured in major media like the New York Times, CNBC, and ABC News. Now, real quick before I forget, we just redid our website out. People are like, oh, yeah, great, thanks. That's great. No, but there are resources there for you. It's an easy way to log into our customer hub and our Speak to Perform member site. You'll see success stories from our members, learn about everything we offer, meet our team. We've got pictures of everybody and see the calendar of events. Also, we've got an awesome podcast. My wonderful marketing assistant and producer, Selena Matreger, did that. We're already in our third season, 22 episodes there. And the thing about the podcast, it's about you. So in every episode, I actually coach a member, two members actually, and of our community. So you listen, and it's like getting a free masterclass. So please go on over to your favorite podcast place where it's everywhere, anywhere you listen to your podcast. Listen, please rate it, give it a thumbs up, refer other people.
you can also head over to our website, greatvoice.com, and click on the podcast page and
And you'll
then
be
click
right there.
listen, click here to listen to our podcast.
That's right.
Thank you, Kathy Lee. Yes, that is
Would you like
also
to?
a link that you can
Thank you,
use.
Kathy. That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's the link to the page on the website. Perfect.
That's wonderful. Thank you. All right. Now, Now it's a quiz. Okay, this is about you. Which of these three is you? You, one, are just curious about voiceover and checking it out. Two, you want to have fun and make a little money on the side. Or three, you are all in. You want to eventually do this full time, make it work, support yourself, even your family, like Adam Werner does. He just taught an audiobook workshop last weekend. He supports a family of five.
We've got
He's a
a
full,
flurry of threes in the
oh,
chat.
wow,
Oh
that's
yeah,
great.
lots
Uh,
of threes.
our team member, Andy Cologne, also supports a family of five. He's on Fiverr. He's
Mhm.
done, I mean, can you believe, wait for it, guys. He has made over, like, I think he said he's up to $470,000 on Fiverr. This is over
Mhm.
time, right? You
Yep.
didn't do this overnight, but that's just one of the ways that he gets voiceover jobs. So listen, if you're serious, you're willing to work hard, this can, and it's not overnight, though. That's what I want you to understand. It's
Mhm.
freelance. But oh, after a few years, if you
Mhm.
follow our methods, if you follow what I'm going to teach you tonight about the marketing side, I have a method that I developed that works. It could happen for you. I can't guarantee it, of course. It's freelance. There's no way we can predict, but we have a step-by-step plan and a marketing plan that's all laid out for you that we teach. That's what tonight's is all about. Now, let me learn also a little bit more about you. Uh, because people kind of freak out when it comes to business. It's weird because you're creative and you're talented, but at the same time, you have to run it like a business, right? So see if you can identify yourself here. Are you like a disorganized creative? Are you clueless about invoicing? Do you even know what an invoice is? And past due accounts? Are you worried about client agreements? Puzzled about whether or not you need to incorporate? Stymied by price sheets? Confused about a website? Nervous about keeping in touch? Come on in and let us know.
Lots of 1 through 7, 2 through 7. Yep.
That's right, Donna.
Oh yeah,
So,
several. Tyrone says, "Oh no, several."
because here's the thing that some people go to business school, some people get MBAs, and you just don't find a lot of creative people in there. Or maybe you do, and they're just really frustrated. So somehow the two don't mix. So I feel your pain. I came up with a method to help you. Actually tried it out. I tested it on myself first, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I injected myself with my method and proved it
Oh,
works.
Jane Marie's feeling like a fish out of water.
Oh no, why? Yeah. Well, listen,
Mhm.
before I started, I was a disorganized mess. Now, I was on the radio way back in the day. Here I am to know how. Here is a very youthful looking Jimmy Buffett who we
I didn't
lost.
know he ever was that young.
Isn't he He's so handsome? But this was how long ago? I didn't know I was that young either. But this was way back in the day. This is a rock station down in Florida where I worked for several years. It was a ton of fun. But now you know this guy. That's Howard Stern. I was on his show with Howard and Robin and blah blah blah. And that was fun, but it didn't make any money. Do we have any radio people here tonight? Anyone who's ever worked in radio and can
Oh, there
testify
are a few,
at how
absolutely.
poorly it
Tom just
pays,
raised his hand.
right,
Yep.
Chico? Chico, it's a sin how little radio pays, isn't it? It's really crazy unless you're like a Howard or somebody like that. But
Right.
the rest of the people that run the music and do all those shows, you do it Deacon used radio, Ron. Yeah, that's funny. But anyway, so I had had enough after about 15 years of that and 15 years of starving, and I thought it's time for me to get out of here and start my own voiceover business. I thought, okay, great. I love to do commercials. I love to be behind the mic. I'm just going to quit radio, and the world's going to be a path to my door because I'm on the Stern Show. I'm kind of famous. People know who I am, and put my what do they call it, put my name on the
Put your
door,
shingle
my
out. Put your
shingle
shingle
out there,
out.
right? And
Hmm.
and people are gonna start hiring me for voiceover. The world's waiting for me, but you know what happened? Crickets, nada, nothing, nothing. And I was going so broke. I was living in New York City. It's so expensive to live there, and I just was terrible, and no, nothing happened. And not only then, I didn't even have my meager radio salary anymore. So I had to take all these day jobs. You might have heard me talk about this. I'll just say it again real quick because I know we got new people on. But, I was a waitress. I was a telemarketer selling deodorant crystals to funeral homes. And I worked for a singing telegram company called Renta Yenta in New York City that would dress me up in costumes and send me out to sing telegrams to people, including like a Christmas elf in the middle of July in New York City, 104 degrees. I am trudging down 7th Avenue dressed like an elf, humiliating the bottom of the barrel. I was at the lowest point in my life, desperate and dawning on me that even though I worked in radio, it meant nothing in voiceover. It was a liability. They don't want announcers. And they always say that. We want voice actors, people who sound like real people. I'm like, but I'm real. But I was clueless. I basically had to start from scratch and rebuild myself. So one day, I got a voiceover quite by accident. It was random. Someone remembered me from the radio, hired me, and I'm doing this job. And with another guy, we're alternating voices. And we finish, we go down to the street, and I am fishing in my pocket for a subway token. He is getting into a beautiful Jaguar sedan, obviously getting a lot more work than I am. And I said, Bob, please, what are you doing? Look, you're obviously more successful than I am. He goes, yep. Voiceover's been good to me. In fact, I'm getting ready to retire. He takes me to lunch. He was so sweet. I said, what are you doing that I'm not doing? And he opens his laptop and he says, see all these names? When I'm not auditioning, when I'm not doing voiceovers, I'm marketing. I'm trying to sell my services. I was like, oh, you're what? And I thought, oh, that's something I can learn how to do. It's not competitive. There's a library. Anyone can go read books, take courses on marketing and sales. And that is exactly what I did. And I thought, it's like, but I'm going to the top because I don't want to waste any more time. I'm going to the top guy that teaches entrepreneurship and marketing. And that's thinking also what Jim Rohn said, that successful people invest in themselves and their education. Except I didn't have much money to invest. I have one credit card that wasn't tapped out. And the top was this guy on the left. His name is Jay Abraham. He's still around. He works with people like Damon John, Tony Robbins, the top billionaires and millionaires. And he was giving a seminar. It was $5,000 to attend, which is a lot of money even today. Back then, it was a fortune. But I tapped out that credit card. I went and I sat in the room with all these entrepreneurs and business people. I was the only voice talent in there, had my head down. I'm taking furious notes. I go back to my little apartment in New York City and I said, I got to make this work because I'm unemployable. I have no skills other than being behind the microphone. I always worked in radio. I got to make this work. So I went and I did everything that they taught, and I took massive imperfect implementation, and then a miracle happened. I started getting voiceover jobs without auditioning for them because Jay and that workshop taught me how to go directly to voice buyers and to sell and market to them. And I got my first job, then another. And before long, it worked. Based on what I learned from Jay and other marketing gurus, it worked. And after a few years, I developed what I call my business of voiceover system. And I started landing customers that over time turned out to be six-figure and even seven figures in lifetime value, which means over the course of their lifetime bought from me again and again and again. I said, okay, it works for me, but will it work for other people? Now, at that time, I also started coaching. And here's one of my early students, Vicki Liston. She's out there. She's a huge success. She followed my business of voiceover system. She's working for AT&T, for Pizza Hut, for Hardee's, for Carl's Jr. She's on YouTube. She's on HGTV. She's like a huge success. And she's one of the many, probably well over 1,000 people that have taken our programs, Donna, hundreds and hundreds of
Oh,
people.
yeah.
And this system that I developed, it's step by step because I did it for me because I was just as disorganized a creative as all of you guys. And I just sat there, but I'm a good student. And I sat there and I made a method. And I was like, what do I do first, second, third? How do I grow this? So look, bottom line, guys, there are only four ways to get voiceover jobs. That's it, four ways. You get referrals from people you know, friends, and I have a whole method I teach for doing that. You don't just like, hey, can you give me a no, there's a method to that. You get it, you do auditions, which actually a lot of people only know that way, and it's probably the worst way because they're sporadic and few and far between, and you can't like that's what happened to me when I started out. Because I'm in New York City, I'm trying to audition against Broadway actors and things like that. And yeah, good luck with that, right? So auditioning, we do it because every now and then we land something great, but it's every now and then. So you do it, but you can't let that be the only thing. And what we have now that we didn't have when I was starting out was the subscription services for you new people. We call those pay to play. So you can subscribe and actually get auditions emailed to you every day. And maybe you'll get an agent. Hard for a beginner to do it. Maybe you will, and they send auditions also. But then we have the freelance sites now, like Fiverr, where our coach Andy Cologne is doing so well and so many people are doing well, and Upwork, which is another freelance site where people get jobs too. And then your strategically chosen list of leads, which is what I did when I started. And that is how I ended up working for Citibank and how I ended up as the voice of AT&T for so many years. But I did all of these things, you guys. You have to do them all. And you're like, whoa, that's like, where do I start? Well, it's a business. So you need a method. You need to be organized to know what to do first, second, third. By the way, there's a bonus fifth way to get jobs. It's something new called Casting Call Club, which is if you're interested in doing video games or character voices, it's where all the indie creators hang out. These people creating video games, audio dramas, fan dubs, podcasts. So you can go on over there. It's free. That's the bonus fifth way. So let's give you some case studies of our students, Donna. You think that's a good idea so people can hear some real studies?
Sounds good. Yeah, let's share the real experiences of some great voice students.
Yeah, and we've got
Mhm.
so many. I mean, in the interest of time, I just chose a few key ones. But one of my favorites is Lisa Roberts. So Lisa's new. She lives in Texas. She has a farm outside of Austin, and she's caring for her grandsons, live with her and her husband, and she is a former singer and she's got a lovely voice. So she started with the first thing I teach, which is uh, approaching your friends and your associates. And I teach a warm letter method where I actually give you a template to send and tell you exactly how to do this and what to say. She did that, and she ended up doing voices for kindergartners. This is a project for a school system for little kids that it involved, she sings. So she did singing and voiceover to help little kids fall asleep. And she's a big contract. She's made several $1,000s doing this, but it started from her own network using my warm letter method of reaching out to friends. So many of our students at least get a lead. The first voiceover job I ever got, Donna, I don't know if I ever told you this story. A friend of mine worked for an ad agency in New York City, and one of the clients of that ad agency was Purina Horse Chow. So they were doing an ad campaign, and she got me into an audition. I booked it. It was the first thing I ever auditioned for. I had beginner's luck because I just sounded natural. I was like a scared person. I didn't know what to do. And I didn't sound like an announcer or full of myself or anything. And I actually stood out because I was so new and natural. And I booked it, and it was a national network commercial. But yeah, through a friend. That's how I got started in voiceover. Now, the next way is to audition. And Terry Dean, who's a wonderful member of ours. She's a two-time private client of ours. Her main thing is audiobooks, and she's maybe done 7 or 8 of them now. She's still working a full-time job out in San Francisco. She's a chef instructor for Google, the giant Google campus out there, and she's wonderful industrial designer, and that's her day job. But she loves audiobooks, and she's in some years down the road, she'll retire, and her objective in retirement is to do audiobooks. So she's looking for proof of concept now while she's still working and setting herself up to do this in retirement. Is there anybody on the line tonight that is looking to do voiceover in retirement? You're somewhere down the road and you're thinking that this might be a cool thing to do. Come in on the chat and let us know if that's you. Oh, look at this.
Jabari and Evan and Terry and Kathy and
Kathy, oh, look at
Desmond and
this. Yeah, so you guys
Brandon.
are
Oh, yeah.
absolutely in the right place because we have a lot of several people. Susie Hackle, I'm thinking
Mhm.
of what's the lady in New Mexico, Donna?
Judy Ruggles.
Yeah, Judy Ruggles and Terry
Hmm.
and so many other people. Alan Sklar is somebody like that who sold a business, now became a very successful audiobook narrator. So
Hmm.
that's just one of the ways you can do that. Look at this list. People keep
Oh, yeah.
going. So Terry, even though she's an audiobook narrator, got an agent recently and is on the pay to play sites, and she got an audition one night and she was exhausted. It was like 11 o'clock at night. She'd worked a full day. She thought, oh, let me just do this audition before I go to sleep. And she did. The next morning, she got an email that she booked the job. So
Wow.
you just never know when that's why we audition for everything and then we forget about it because every now and then we book something. And I mean, I got AT&T through an audition. And the first job, I think I paid like $300, but they kept coming back for years and years and years. They had huge lifetime value for me. So auditions is the next thing. The third is the freelance side. So, as we told you earlier, our coach Andy Colon is on Fiverr, but one of our students and members of our community, Bob Loudermilk, is on Upwork. And actually, we're going to bring him back in January, I think, Donna, right? Or December to do another flash training and update us on how he's doing because he's doing great. So, Bob, would you say live North Carolina, South
Yes,
Carolina,
North
Don?
Carolina.
Yeah, and he is a retired college dean, I think, principal.
College administrator. Yep.
Yeah, college administrator. Highly successful, and he has a theology degree, and he's a minister. I mean, he's really a highly accomplished guy. He retired, and he went up on Upwork and put his demo that we produced for him. Within weeks, he got his first job there.
Hmm.
Weeks, and quickly got I think he did like 100 jobs within the first 3 to 6 months on Upwork. But the thing was, of those jobs, four of them were customers that kept coming back again and again and again. And he was doing stuff like on YouTube channels and faith-based stuff, all kinds of things. And he's still working on Upwork and doing extremely well. It's in the multiple thousands of dollars now. And, he's comfortably retired, but that's nice. That's play money. You can,
Absolutely. That's all they wanted. He and his wife wanted enough money to travel around the country and visit their grandchildren.
that's it.
Everything else was taken care of. So he only works a few hours a week because that's all he wants to
All
do.
he wants to
But he's
do.
able to make enough money to do what they wanted with it.
Right. And that's why I asked in the beginning, what's your goal here? And people are at different stages. Some people know, man, I'm going all in. No, just some extra fun money so we can play. I mean, enjoy these great years now. So then the fourth way is your strategically chosen list of leads. Well, Andy on Fiverr, and he
Yeah.
does do trainings for us on Fiverr. And he again started slow, and
Mhm.
it took him a few years till he figured it out. Now he teaches actually a great course on Fiverr for us, but
Yes.
over time, and he stuck with it, and he's doing extremely well. I mean, he's almost up to $500,000 on Fiverr. It took him years, and he's doing it every day, but he's again helping to support his family with that money. So then the last one is the one that really makes the difference. This is where you are really marketing, like you're selling a service. You're lead generating, you're closing sales, you're closing deals. This is how I have not just my own voiceover business. I built a whole production company learning how to do this at the Great
Mhm.
Voice Company. We have several
Okay.
major multiple six-figure customers because I learned from Jay Abraham way back in the day from all these entrepreneurs how to generate leads, how to close them, how to market services, how to build a business. So, and I teach this in a simple manner, actually. in my business of voiceover coaching program, which I'm about to tell you about. But Susie Hackle, who I was telling you about, she's a retired reading teacher. She retired maybe 4 or 5 years ago, came to us. She became a private client, actually took all of our trainings. But one thing Susie does extremely well is generate leads on LinkedIn. And she has a list of strategic list of companies she wants to work for because she's in children's e-learning and in children's audiobooks. So, with her teacher's background, she knew companies in the industry. She goes out, she builds her list, she makes those connections, heavy use of LinkedIn, and it's working extremely well for her. She's doing everything. Actually, she's doing some video games too, but a lot of children's e-learning, a lot of children's audiobook programs, and making some very nice money now, 4 or 5 years into her career in retirement. So, here's the thing, guys. Here is the problem. You can't just call your friends and say, "Hey, I put out my shingle. I'm doing voiceover now." Because let's face it, friends, it's a limited pool of resources. If you're lucky, you know 50 people. If you're lucky, maybe stretch that to 100 friends and associates, but that's limited, right? With auditions, yes, I'm not going to say it's not, it is a cattle call. There's a lot of people out there doing it. You can still book stuff. People do every day. But if you try to depend on auditions to grow your business, you're going to starve and end up frustrated and bitter. We do them. They're a lot of fun, but you can't just depend on friends and auditions to grow your business. Some people only do Fiverr and do great. They do incredible. And some people do really well on Upwork like Bob. But imagine add friends, add auditions to the freelance sites you're doing, and you're doing now three of them. Whoa, you can really start to get some traction. But add the magical fourth when you're developing leads on your own, and you might end up with a customer like a Citibank or like an AT&T over time if you're doing this to really that was the turbocharger for me. So I still do all these other things, except I'm not on Fiverr or Upwork. I still audition, I still network, but I have these leads actually, these customers that I built that years later are still buying from us. So this is how you really, really succeed. And you have to do them all to gain traction and grow your business. Now, before you go, your eyes glaze over and you're like, no, I'm retiring because I don't never want to hear the word business again. It's your business, guys. This time around, it's yours. You own it. You benefit from it. It's you. So it does take organization. Not too much, but a little bit. Focus, of course. A mentor, someone to tell you, someone successful to tell you how to do it, and a step-by-step plan. So I am step-by-step plan girl, am I not, Donna James?
You are. You
Step
are.
by
There is a method to your madness.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I have a ton of methods. So without these things, you'll unfortunately be lost. I'm being honest. You got, and that's why we have coaching programs to help you stay focused and to build a community, and we all lift everybody up together.